Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Timberborn Part 18 in our Emberpelts series, where we are over back by District 1. We are building a huge reservoir. Well, huge, a big reservoir. Phase 1 was to build this tubeway tower all the way up to the top where the reservoir is going to end. And that went fairly quick because it was just straight up in tubeways, and then they were able to build a little bit of the scaffolding as they went up. And then phase 2 is the scaffolding itself. Instead of trying to build the walls of this reservoir around and just wait for them to go back and forth, I built scaffolding just one block to the inside of the outer walls. It did take a while, all in about 45 minutes to get the scaffolding built, but I really think that made the overall project go much quicker. All in about 2 hours, I think it was. I really think it would have been a lot longer if I had not built the scaffolding, because one thing you may have noticed is as they're building the scaffolding, while they're, waiting to get each section built, they're also building the lower walls. So, they were able to accomplish quite a bit. But that then brings us to phase 3. With the scaffolding done, they can now just do the dirt block walls, which, yeah, it took a while, but it went pretty quick, even though I had prioritized this one in, because I intended to turn all the walls to where the arrows were facing inward so that none of them would be reliant on a block behind it. I forgot to do it. So I was going to wind up with like the back wall being like the last thing getting done because of just where everything lines up. You can see down at the bottom left, I did add in some storages. Currently that has dirt, and once they're done with the dirt portion of this project, I will empty the dirt and I switch out to logs. I don't have any of that in the video, but it is a thing I did because there is going to be quite a few logs being used today. Unfortunately, I did run into a bit of a problem. Not here. It wasn't anything to do, but you can see that there's been things going on in the background with farms. There were some tubeways and some crops getting built, and that led to a crash. The game crashed, and it says a bug, but I don't know that it's really a bug, and we'll talk more about it in a little bit, in just a few minutes. But I don't think it was really a bug so much as it was maybe just something that was slightly overlooked. Possibly was something in the mod, maybe not. I'll show you guys what happened to cause the problem here in just a little bit. But we're continuing on. They finished all the dirt blocks. Now it's levees, sluice gates, and dams. And you'll see the dirt slowly get emptied at the bottom left and get replaced with logs fairly quickly, I believe. Yeah, it looks like there's logs in there now. I did cut out like every second and third day of progress on this just because it would have been 3 times as long of an intro. I figured 5 minutes was kind of stretching it for a big building montage. But yeah, so while everything was happening up here, I did have the second district redoing some tubeways, adding new tubeways, adding some new farmhouses, clearing out the old crops and farms, improving their housing district, which we'll see in just a moment. So they've got more housing, they've got recreation now, or not recreation, but leisure, like some of the fire pits and some of the overhanging ones, rooftop terrace. So yeah, but they're making really good progress, even though the blocks take twice as many materials because it's 12 logs versus 6 dirt. It's still all going all right, but they've got the last 3 here, and these are actually the flat-topped floodgates that are here mainly just to serve as a relief valve, just in case the reservoir was going to get too full and spill over the top. I didn't want it just flooding out into the district on the other side. So I put these in so that I can open them if necessary. The other side just has dams. But that has everything built. You can see they're still building some things. I rebuilt that little overhang that was on the side of the cliff. But we'll take a look at that here in some live gameplay. So here we are in the district, live gameplay after everything was built. I have a lovely, lovely waterfall now that I can't really see. My microphone's blocking it. But it's there. I know it's there. But I want to talk real quick about this quote-unquote bug. I don't think it's a bug. I think it's just an oversight. And I'm going to pause because I don't want them to try to build what caused the bug to begin with. So I'll throw a screenshot of this line from the error log. District center coordinates at 5283, center node, blah, 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 don't know what that means. Conflicts with district coordinates at not too far away. So basically, we had a problem here and here. And at first, when I encountered the bug, I'm like, oh, there is a bug in the game or in the mod, and great, now I've just built this thing and not going to be able to use it. I had autosave. I didn't lose, but maybe 5-10 minutes progress. Like, it wasn't a big deal. But I was a little bit worried, and then I thought, you know what? There's some people on the Vainglorious Discord, as well as you guys here in the comments who have talked about error logs and being willing to look at them when I run into problems. And so I thought, well, let's go get that. I'm going to go grab it and head over to the Timberborn Discord and ping those people and see what happened here. So I was really worried that it was going to kind of like put a pause in the series until it got resolved. But then I just looked at this first line and I'm like, oh, a conflict between two districts. Something happened, an invalid operation exception. Something happened that it shouldn't have. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I built tubeways. And we'll go all the way down. So originally, this tubeway that runs here over to this tube station and runs here to this tube station, I had them connected here. Well, if we go up just one level, you can see why that's a problem. That is just one level below this other district's tubeway network. And here's why I think it's not so much a bug as it is just a bit of an oversight. If we go back up to this level, bring up the HUD, and I try to build, so if we go right here, and I want to build a tubeway tunnel right there, it'll let me put that there. That should say no, because that tubeway, when I connect it there to those guys, is going to connect there, but it's also going to make an upward connection into that tubeway. And I'm pretty certain, I'm like 99.9% certain that the crash happened the moment that they built the one that is right there, because we now had two districts that were connected to the exact same tubeway, and you can't have that. You can't have two pathways connecting. The game normally prevents it. I don't really know how it would know though with tubeway tunnels. That's why I'm saying I think it's just an oversight that, you know, somebody, whether it's in the mod or in the game itself, just didn't think to do that check. Is there one above, below, to the side, or anything like that that is eventually going to be connected? I don't even know if that's a thing that can be done, but I'm fairly certain that's what caused the crash. Because once I got rid of it, because when I saw what it was, and that was my hunch, I came through because, you know, we were now at a point where they hadn't built it yet because the game had crashed and I was back to an earlier version. I just deleted it and redid it, sending it back that way. And all's well that ends well, except for the fact I realize now I want to change something about these. Same thing that I did on the other ones. We are going to replace these with tubeway levees right here. Oh, we're gonna go solid one because there's nothing to blast now. And that should be fine. It shouldn't strand any beavers anywhere because everything except the housing is already all connected. So we might get, well, it's not saying building disconnected. Probably because it's connected there or down here or something. I don't know. But that way we can get the water out of there. I don't really want water going through the tubeways on this side. So that side's already done. And they'll get these two. There's that one done. And then they'll get this one done. Beautiful. So, the order of business today. I actually scratched that because I haven't really gone into much detail of what's going on here. So, you can see we have these two are not synchronized, or these three are not synchronized. I've got that set to 0.95. That way, if the water gets too deep, it should just flow out there. If I get any flooding, well, then I can open the other two. During a drought and a bad tide, which we have one coming up, the water quickly drains below where these dams are. But I have this set to auto open anytime this little section right here goes below 0.05 meters. And so as soon as the water stops flowing there and this empties out, these open up and go fine. And then this will refill even after everything's done, even though these are opening, because it will get up to where this is like 0.5 and then 0.67, sometimes 8 and 9. And so these will close for those little bits and then reopen and then close and reopen and then close. But it is enough that within just a few days, this fills all the way back up and we eventually have water coming out the top again. So yeah, that is going to eventually, we're going to eventually have an aqueduct that just brings this all the way over to here to where it actually then starts flowing in the district. And I'm going to try to build that via overhangs coming off this back wall. Instead of having just a bunch of supports, I'm going to try to build out dirt and see if I can get away with overhangs. I think I can make it work. If I go down low enough, and then so that we can have like a 2, and then a 2, and then a 2, and then a 3, and on and so on and so forth, I think it'll work fine. So, before I get started on building up and start adding in just a ton of new jobs, a lot of which are going to require power. We're good on power right now. I mean, we're using 5,700, but that's going to more than double, if not triple. Which, if that happens, when the wind's blowing and the water's flowing, we're not making enough power. Because we have lost the use of these wheels back here. The only reason I haven't gotten rid of them is because I don't need the logs for anything. We have plenty of logs everywhere. So I'm not going to worry about replacing those, but we do need to think about extra power. So what I want to do is kind of build what we have here, but maybe a little taller. And also come up with a more permanent solution than just this janky bit of pumps and a tank there. So what I'm thinking is I want to put the, the right thing. I want to put the bad water rig on this one, and then put a bad water discharge on this one, and then have that bad water discharge come, or have the bad water come back here, run down and back through a big series of water wheels that we're going to build. But we're also going to like enclose a lot of this so that we're controlling it and forcing it up as high as we can get it to go, so that I can build out the power wheels as high as we can get them to go. So that means we need to get over here. And to do that, I think I'm going to rely on some tubeways, which will take a minute themselves to get built. God, that looks so cool at night. But I think this is going to be the way to go to get them up where we need them to be. So I'm actually going to start from up here and just kind of get an idea of where we need to go. So I'm thinking that we can probably like go here and bring that up and then figure out where that's going to go across later. But this will let us start building our tubeway tunnels underneath here. They can't get to any of this right now, but eventually they'll be able to. So I just need to go down and keep following that until we get down to the level where our tubeways are, which there we go. We have reached that. So we'll just bring that there, and then we'll head back up and we'll see what we need to do to get everything connected here. So if we continue building up, that is now like one below, I think. So what I want to do is put that in there, and then I want to bring in a platform, and then probably just another triple. Gets it? Yep. And then I want to go across with the tubeway bridge. Oh, okay. I thought that would rest right there just fine. It'll go that way, but it won't go that way. What is it, because it's on the ground over there? I think so. Okay. Let's see if this makes it happy. Indeed it does. Cool. So then we'll just kind of come back down there, connect that up, come over here. My goal is to get to right here. So we're going to back that off, connect over to here, and then connect up like that so that I can then come in with just what we've been doing to get them out of here with the tube-way connection. Oh, I want to back that off one more. There we go. So that's under housing. We need a tube-way connection. That is going the right way. That is going the right way. Boom, done. And then we need a little walkway entrance for them to get out of here, which is going to be right there. And then we're going to send them right back into another walkway entrance, which you'll see why in a minute. And I'm hoping that that is going to clear this bad water rig. Indeed it is. Cool. So doesn't really matter which way I orient that, because this is all going to change so drastically by the time I'm finished that I don't think we're really going to have a problem. Actually, get rid of that, and then I can just put one of these in, and then come back in with this, but now turn it that way, and now we can start connecting tubeways again, though I forgot they don't like to be on a platform, so that's fine, whatever. We'll just do this. We'll just do one at a time. And then, how am I going to get that done if it doesn't like being on a platform? Will it cooperate with this? Yes. It went down one, but whatever. It's fine, because that gets us over here, and then we can just build there like that. I want to get to where they can build out right here, so let us see what we need to come up here. That'll work beautifully. So again, we just want them to be able to exit out of here, so we want a entrance, and then we want one of these friends coming this way, and then they'll just be able to walk right out and cap this off, which is underwater, but with a bad water discharge. And it'll be fine that we're going to be without bad water for a while. We have a lot. We also have plenty of extract already made, and the only thing really using an extract in this district right now is the explosives factory, which is nearly full. So I think it'll be just fine. But what we have now is a project that's going to take just a little while to get finished. I could let them build it from both ends if I put some ladders in, but I think I'll just let them just build it out and it'll be fine. So that is what we're going to do. We'll jump to where they start building up here so we can actually see some of the progress. But everything underneath should be starting. We will double check that. Can't hear anything because, yeah, it's started. You know what? I am going to just run a ladder up just to right here so they can at least start on 2 sections at once. I mean, I've got a couple hundred beavers working as builders in this district, simply because I could. We have so many that are not doing anything right now, that instead of just letting them sit idle, I decided to build just a massive number of builders' huts so that they could be put to good use. I still have 86 that aren't doing anything, but they should now come up here and start working on this as well. So we'll speed this up. Yep, here they come. Cool. And we'll get this stuff built out real quick, and then we'll look at how we're going to, what we're going to do up here to control the bad water in the way that we want. And that went a lot quicker than I expected, like 15 minutes. I did speed it up by adding these dudes in so that they could then come out here and get all that done, and that helped significantly. So I now want to come in here. We're going to need to get them down here. That is a problem I will look at in a moment, because first I want to figure out something. Oh no, I do need to get them down here though. Thing is, I don't really know where our final connection to this is going to be. So what I'm going to do is get rid of these and bring two-way here like that. They'll be able to get that built eventually. And then we can have an exit. I'm going to have it come off in a weird way here. In fact, I want it to come down this side. Right here. That way I've got some space to work, because I want to blast just a little bit out in behind here. So I'm going to need that space. So you are facing the right way now. And then we'll just put this right here. They'll get that done eventually. I want to do a tunnel. So 1, 2, 3 back. There we go. And then I can come down and use that as reference. And then that, oh cool, that got the one I needed there. And then over here we already have where I need cleared out. But we have tubeways on top. But I'm not certain we really need this tubeway anymore, but if we do, I'm gonna leave that bit down there, just in case. I don't know that they've got room to put any of this stuff. They can pick up some of the metal blocks, so once they get down here, they'll be able to grab all that. So this is going to have, I don't know, I did that path. It's going to come over this way, and then it's going to go over this way, and next to it, we're going to have just 2 big underground tanks for the bad water. There's bad water. So now that lets me know where this actually can come out. And I was close, but it's going to need to come over like this. We will eventually have to remove some stuff and rebuild it as we do some more terraforming, but for the time being we'll be okay. I didn't finish what I was doing here. Before they get down here, I'm going to put this where it's probably going to stay for a long time, if not forever. That way we don't have to build those. Cool. No duplicating our efforts here. So they're working on that for reasons. They did pick up some of the metal blocks and even some of the logs, it looks like. We're a little down on logs. Planks, there's room for them to pick up most of that stuff, so they should be able to get in there. So what I'm thinking is we will get storage down there, but then I also want to come back here and take a look at what we're going to do back here, because I want to start building this up. So I'm going to come over to here. I only have 1 tree. Actually, a few trees I need to get rid of here. So we're going to come down. We're going to get rid of these trees that are in our way here. Actually, no, those aren't in the way. Those are fine. Those will go away when we make a big hole here. So I don't need to worry about these. It's this row back here I need to worry about. So like those, and then these, even though I think those will get taken care of on their own. And then we need to come over this way and do the same thing. But first we have to get them up to here. Instead of a ladder going down and then right back up, let's do this instead. And run that over to here, and then give them... let's go to the outer edge, because that's going to be safer, because once we start blasting, they're not going to be able to reach any of this stuff anymore. So, ladder there, and that one will just go away, and then just to be safe. Well, actually, we're going to wind up needing ladders down here anyway. So let's just put them in now. I'm not sure how far back that way it's going to go. We'll just get these in just to be safe. That way we know we're covered. And that should now be reachable. They're making good progress on this, and then those won't be disconnected any longer. We can get rid of these. They're no longer necessary. And I'm going to set this to empty so that they, as soon as they get a connection, they can start carrying that over there. And this has room for 10 workers. I don't know that we're making enough extract at the moment for this, but I'm going to go ahead and set that to extract. And then so that they can finish building out here, we just do a path there and a path there. Oof, this is going to get tricky because if I blast this out, I'm going to need a way for them to still get back here. We may have to like come up and around the backside, because the idea is this section, we're going to build a wall like right here, and we're going to build it as high as it can go, and then some with blocks again. That way we can get just as many of our water wheels in as possible. But before I do that, I want to blast everything below it out and have another big open hole here so that I can see what type of space I'm working with. And basically build it up from the bottom and then figure out how to get them down to it to build it all. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be a bit of a challenge. So I'm gonna let them finish this little bit of stuff, and then we're gonna figure out how we're gonna get around and all that good stuff. They're gonna wind up building some blocks, but it's fine because we have plenty of workers to work on everything. Okay, I see the way we're gonna get through here and deal with having to get around. We're gonna come this way with yet another set of tube-ways. And then we're just going to come down here and snake our way through. Let's not go up there. They're going to be able to build that, so I'm going to pause. There we go. We're going to snake our way back through over here and then just join up right here. So tube ways to where that connects. I think I was about to make 2 connections. And then over like that. And then we can have them come out over here, and I can throw in like a platform or something right here just to get them across. Yeah, that'll work. And then a ladder up, because we know this is safe zone because it's on this side of the wall. So if we get them going up back here, they'll be able to walk all the way around the outside. Down here might be a little bit of an issue. It is going to be an issue, so instead we're going to just do this right here. Cool. I can unpause now. And then let's see how we get everybody snaked around. Who's stranded? Oh, yeah, because I kind of got rid of your ladder. Oops. My bad. All right, fine. We'll give you... Here, have a ladder. Put one there. That's still not going to help him. One here will help him, though. Yeah. They should get that built pretty quick, because, again, I have a lot of beavers in this district. So, anyways, back to what we were looking at here. So, we go here, start clearing out some more rubble, and then we can go up, and we'll figure out what we need to clear as we go around. But we'll have to get them to clear that first. Our stranded guy shouldn't be stranded anymore. He should. Where are you? Oh, now we have somebody else stranded. Oh, I see what you did. Well, wait. Oh, yeah, you can't walk around. Can I put a path? I can't. Talk on it. Friggin' beavers, quick get stranded. Ladder. Ladder. Platform. There. You won't be stranded once they build that. I know it's my fault for having them build things out of order, but whatever. It'll be fine. I don't know if that ladder was turned the right way, which is why I am changing it. Oh, that's gonna need to be 2. Yeah, it's gonna need to be 2. Actually, no, it won't. I don't even need that platform because they can just walk across. There. All right, you're gonna spend the night up here on top of the hill. You okay with that? Yeah. Poor little guy. Messel, age 42. Man. So they should come build these 2 ladders pretty doggone quick. They can reach both of them. And then as soon as I get that other one done, his stranded icon should go away. Yeah? You gonna build this one? Maybe? You thinking about it? There we go. Yep, he is no longer stranded. Awesome. Cool. So now we just gotta get these out of the way. And then we'll be able to go up and around and all kinds of great things. So we are going to put a ladder there. Bring that down, make sure it's really connected, and then we're just going to put a pathway in so I can see what trees are going to go away on their own and which ones we're going to have to chop down. So here, again, I think we'll just go across with platform. No need to go down and then back up. And then we need to go up, and up, and then down, down, down. And that will give them access to this entire ridge so that they can then blast right next to it. So this can go away. Yeah, that can go away. Awesome. So I'm going to let them get this stuff in now, which is going to require getting that out of here. And it looks like I'm also going to be waiting for daylight. So I also want to plan just where my blocks are going to go. So I'm just going to do like a row of them and see what we need to get rid of. So that will come all the way to there, and then it'll go... Yeah, I do want to blast to this side because I want to get rid of the inside, but that's already as high as I need it to be. So we'll need to bring them this way too and blast down all of that. Oof. This is turning into be a thing, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit. They'll be able to build dynamite outside of this, no problem, but that's not where we need it. We need it to be one more over. So that doesn't really help us all that much. I don't know. I'll figure it out. The main part I want to get started with is up here, because then we're going to have to get them down really low. We can let this bad water drain out of here. These are no longer necessary, which means all of this is no longer really necessary, because bad water is not going to be coming over here anymore. It's going to be going somewhere else entirely. So they can pick up all that mess. And how are we doing up here? We have the tree down, and now they'll be able to get all of that taken care of. And then it'll just be a matter of blasting. So here on this level, we're going to bring that to there. Actually, stop. I'm going to pause and plan this out a little bit better. So let's go with our highest point, which is basically here. So we know we want to bring this down 3, which will bring it to this level here. So then this will be our new baseline of what we want to get rid of. So that means this needs to come by 1, and we do have a few trees we're going to have to get rid of. And then this will need to go by 2. And then we will mark that tree for demolition, and I think that's the only one in the way. Yeah, cool. So then this needs to come down by 1 to get it level with all of that. And then I'm just going to grab that and see, does that carry over anymore? No. So that's 3. So we go back up 3, but then we need to come down 1 like that. Here needs to be a 2, and that doesn't carry over, and then it looks like this needs to be a 3. Cool. And then I don't know what's going to happen way back here. We'll figure that out, how far it's really even going to need to go. So that's a lot that I've got to get blasted out. So once again, I'm just going to kind of get it done real quick, get it started, and then see what it takes to get them down to start tunneling under all of this to blast out that way. So what I've come up with to be able to get around everything that we need to get around is we're just going to build a big wall here where it's going to go, and then they'll eventually be able to just walk across the top of it, and they'll be able to access it from a couple different points. Once this two-way system gets finished, they'll be able to go there, but they're also going to be able to build the wall as from this two-way down here, so that should speed that along a little bit. So again, they're not going just one section by one section. They can kind of work on the whole length of it. In fact, I bet if I prioritize these two-ways, that will help significantly, because right now they're building the walls, then the two-ways, so on and so forth. And then down here, it's just waiting. It's just a waiting game as they walk back and forth over from this two-way to over here. So we didn't wind up needing that up there, so I guess I can get rid of that. So once they get some more dynamite in, we'll be in better shape here to start blasting out all the way down as far as we can go, and then from there tunneling under everything that's left, and then we'll have a nice big open area that we can then probably next video start filling with the water wheels. So I'm gonna let them just finish this wall. You know, we can watch that. We can watch that happen. It won't take very long. So yeah, we'll watch this get finished here. It looks like they're filling in the last block right now, so we can start blasting. Would help to... There we go. Bring my cursor was in Discord, so it wasn't doing anything. Imagine that. So if I've done this right, we should be getting this all down to about the same level. I guess not right there, but whatever. We'll have a couple of different levels that we're working with, I guess, is what's happening, but it's okay. We'll eventually get it all down at the same level with this next round. So blasting, lots of blasting. There's one we missed because there was a tree there. They should come put that in pretty doggone fast, because it's the only thing they have to build right now, and there are a bajillion builders. I guess we didn't need to come out to this side. Yeah, we didn't really need to come out to this side, so I just blasted that out of there for no good reason. It's fine. We can put it back. It's this side over here that we want to get rid of. So cool. Let's focus on the higher bits now. So that should be 3 above. I just want to double check that. Yeah, that is 3 above everything else. So we need to bring all of this down by 3, including that, and then that needs to come down with a 1. I don't know what we're gonna do about this end section down here. I don't know if we should get rid of it or not. You know what? It can't hurt to get rid of it. So let's just help them get out there doing that. There we go. So that's going to go down 3. That's going to go down 1. So that's going to go down 3. Which makes sense because it's the same level as the other ones we just looked at. Cool. And then here, that is also up by 3. I'm just going to get rid of these high spots real fast. And then this looks like it's up by 3 as well. Okay, this is all, yeah, this is all now the same elevation. So we're good to just come around like that. Get rid of this one. And put in a 3. And then come over here. Get these out of here. Like that. And then this will be 2 above where everything else is. You know what? I think I'm going to... No, we don't have to wait on this side. We can go ahead and start doing things on this side too. So, okay. That is 3. So we can start with 3 again here. But let's back that up. Let's go 2 here to get it all down to this level. And that is up by 3 above that level. And then we'll do 2s again here. And then we'll do a 1 here. And then we'll worry about all of this down here in a moment. I just don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So this side's already ready to go? Yes. They're fast. We have a few hundred beavers. I don't know how many builders we have. It's a lot. It's not a few hundred, but it is a lot. There were like 150 beavers not working. Now there's only 40 not working. Granted, we've had a big death wave and then a lot of babies born after that. But all right, cool. So that's going to bring that down to that level. Then this will all be on the same level, but I want to wait and see what this is going to look like over on this side, so we can get this blasted out and then see where these two compare. That way I can get it all on one spot here. Actually, I'm going to cancel these 2s. Wait. No, I'm not going to cancel those 2s because I'm going to come in and put 2s in around the whole thing, because then that will give me everything at one level if I'm looking at this right. So we will just run a whole mess of these around this way. There's just a random platform left over, which it's just going to stay there, and once everything underneath gets blasted out, it will go away. So cool. This can go down to where it needs to be, and then this, if I blast that down, that should then all be at the same level. Yes? No, this needs to come down still, and that. Now this all needs to come down by 2, and this last little one down here by 1, and then all of this on this side we'll be at the same level, and then we can continue this around. Oh my gosh, have they really gotten almost all that in? That's just crazy. So yeah, I'm going to keep blasting until we have blasted as far down as we can go. Then I'm going to build a tube-way down, and then we're going to make our tunnels underneath. And yeah, that happens every once in a while. Sometimes after a drought or a bad tide, when this thing gets back up to this level, it temporarily floods. I don't think it's going to be a problem once it's permanent thing is built for it, but we're still a ways away from doing that because I don't want to connect it up to the aqueduct and be dropping into here just yet. So we'll just deal with occasional flooding. It goes away after a day or two. I'm not really gonna stress about it. So cool. Yep, I will see you in just a moment when I get all this blasted down and we can start doing tunnels. And as a bad tide begins, they finished everything that I set out to do. I also had a little side project of just, this isn't filled in, it's just a layer. We had to put one platform there because it wasn't quite enough for overhangs. And then I've just had them flatten out all of this. They'll get that little bit done back there. Just have them, you know, something to do since we have so many builders. But I think what we can do is come in here and get rid of the platforms that are left behind. And, of course, it doesn't want to actually delete everything. That's not the right level, so I'm going to have to go down. This will all go away. All those overhangs will be gone right now. It's just connected to this end down here. But as soon as we get rid of all of these, we will get rid of all of that hill and should just have a big wide open area here. Most likely. That's the idea. Pretty sure. That's what we have. Yeah, we do. And that will be what we start filling back in with water wheels and just as high up as we can get them to go. I don't know that it'll be necessarily this wide. I don't even know how many tiles wide that is. 12, I think. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But it will go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth in one tile and then drop down and so on and so forth, and hopefully make an absolute boatload of power for us. But today we've accomplished quite a bit. We've got the bad water sources capped off. We've got plenty of bad water. And we're ready to make progress with power. And then once we get the power done, we'll figure out where it connects. And then we can actually start on what I've had planned for this district, which is big and tall. And it's also why I haven't gotten rid of this hill here, because we'll be cutting into the hill some and doing some cool things with that. But we're going to leave it here. So until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.